Hi everyone, this is Selvi. Today's interview question is when we will be preparing the definition of ready and definition of done checklist. We all know that we use two important checklists. One is definition of ready, that is DOR, and next one is definition of done, that is DoD. These two checklists we will be preparing during the planning sprint or preparation sprint. Sometimes we call this sprint as sprint 0 also. We already discussed about what is sprint 0 and what we will be doing in this particular time period. But in a nutshell, this particular sprint, that is sprint 0 or planning sprint or preparation sprint, is the sprint or the time period which actually as a team we will be spending before the actual sprint execution starts. Like sprint 1 starts. Before sprint 1 starts, we will be having some dedicated time period which we call it as planning or preparation or sprint 0. Why this is required? This is required for defining the process. This is required for preparing the agile ways of working. This is required for preparing our product backlog. This is required for planning our infrastructure. This is required for setting up all the team related things during this time. So as a team, we will be ensuring that all the things are available so that we will be all set to start our sprint 1. Without refining the backlog or without refining any detail, what are the work items that we are going to work in sprint 1, how can we start the sprint 1? We need to have some time period. So this time period, that actually we call it as this planning sprint or preparation sprint or sprint 0, we will be investing the time for all these activities. So during this time, as a team, we will sit and understand what are the checklist items that are required so that we can call that as definition of ready. What are the things that are required so that we can call it as definition of done. As we all know, these two checklists are prepared by team. Only the facilitation will be done by the Scrum Master. So as a team, we will be sitting and we will be preparing this checklist during the planning sprint. And as we all know, this is not a static checklist. This checklist is a dynamic checklist, which means maybe some of the things we would have missed or maybe we never thought during this planning sprint time. We will be doing our retrospective once the sprint 1 is done. That time we will be investigating that, retrospect that, and understand, okay, can we add all these things in definition of ready? Can we add all these things in definition of done? So this checklist will be keep on getting improved after every retrospective meeting, because at every retrospective meeting it is very important we go through this checklist and get the feedback from the team and start improving those things. So in a nutshell, the answer for this question is during the preparation or planning sprint, or we call it a sprint 0, we prepare this checklist. As part of the process definition and the agile ways of working, we will be preparing this checklist. And this checklist will be keep on getting improved because this is a dynamic checklist. After every sprint at the retrospective, we will be keep adding the things after our retrospective session has been done. I think this would have cleared the details about when we create the definition of ready and definition of done, when this checklist gets revised. Thank you everyone for listening. Happy learning and stay tuned.